Hey, what is up, guys? Monster Trio back with another chapter review of One Piece chapter 814, and oh my gosh, this chapter is going to spark endless amounts of theories from everyone. I can't wait to see them. The Vinsmoke family is a family of assassins. I'm reading it from Peckham's mouth himself. I cannot believe this. And his dad was the one who arranged the marriage. And the reason this is huge is because now we know the background of the Vince Smoke family, and this could tell us a lot about Sanji's character. For instance, the fact that he never ever wants to hit a woman. Like, he swore on his life he would never hit a woman. I think that obviously ties back into his past of some experience he had with his father where I mean either his dad assassinated someone, maybe he killed Sanji's mother. Who knows? But I guarantee that his father had some sort of impact on him because he killed someone or did something that destroyed Sanji's morals, and so Sanji had to leave. Um, Everything's going to spark from this. I mean, this kind of supports my Bellamy being his brother theory because, I mean, a family of assassins, Bellamy isn't exactly a nice guy. It doesn't support the fact that he's royalty, per se. We don't know enough about this family. For all we know, they could be like a royal, like, family. Maybe they serve a certain family, or they serve their, their assassins that are killed higher ups. Who knows? But I think that this chapter was pretty good. Every chapter, I don't know how Oda does it. Every single week, Oda gives us a chapter. At the end, your mind is just blown, and you start thinking about different things. Um, what else went on in this chapter that's interesting? I was really pissed off actually how like terrible Zoro was treating like the whole thing with Sanji. I mean, if Sanji was there, if Sanji was there and like Zoro was the one who was in trouble, Sanji wouldn't have been like, "Fuck that guy, we can't go after him just because, he's got problems. Like we need to do our own thing." Like Sanji would have just, I feel like Sanji would have been much more chill about it and just like wouldn't have cared what the crew did. Um, so I was a little irritated with Zoro. Especially since I thought like by the end of this they would have like a brother kind of like relationship. Um, but on top of that, the uh, the fact that Big Mom wants Sanji as like a daughter-in-law or a son-in-law, I feel like she wants the Straw Hat crew, and I feel like you can't just quit the Straw Hat crew. Like, I feel like you can't just quit a pirate crew. Like, if he goes to the wedding and then they're saying, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm going to get all the Straw Hats," and then he's like, "Oh no, I quit the Straw Hats." They'll be like, "When was that? Like, you never, like, your wanted poster came out 2 weeks ago, and you're part of the Straw Hats, so you're still part of the Straw Hats now." Um, it was pretty cool to see Nekomamushi and how like big he was and like how childish he was also funny. Oh, I thought that something to note was when Nekomamushi on page, I believe it was, let's see, I'm checking. Yeah, he says, "You are all the Straw Hat Pirates," and he gives them a big hug. "You sure saved our hides, thank you. I promise you I will repay this debt one day. Despite how I look, I'm never one to shirk my duties or obligations." Now that was big for me because I thought, "Oh my gosh, I think Luffy is going to get another part of his fleet from them, and it's going to be Nekomamushi and I forget what the name of the other guy who runs the island, the one who's a dog. I forget what his name was. I think those two are going to be like co-commanders of an army for Luffy, and it's going to be an army of minks, and the mink army is going to be insane. Like it's going to be insanely strong compared to what the other people that we've already seen. That are part of Luffy's the fleet, I think the Minx would be a very strong addition. Um, it's really cool to see also how many different people have joined Luffy. Like you got giants, you got Tontadas, you got now you're probably gonna have Minks, you're gonna have um, the long arm tribe and the long leg tribe and everything. I mean, there's nothing. I bet he gets a bunch of swordsmen. Actually, is what I bet he gets in Wano because that's the only thing he's missing. Is like a Kinemon actually. Wow, I've never thought about this until just now. But Kinemon could lead like a Wano group. He could drop Momonosuke back at Wano and then tell them he has to repay the debt, and then if he ever needs help to call upon him. So he won't actually join the crew, but he would like be part of Luffy's fleet as the swordsman from Wano, which would be pretty awesome because there's going to be some really good swordsmen there, obviously. But yeah, the chapter was overall good. Chopper's really like authoritative, which is interesting. Um, and Brook clearly knows something. As soon as they brought up the Vinsmoke name, he went dead silent. He stopped playing his guitar. And I was very worried because now that I know they're a family of assassins, I'm assuming that the people who killed Brook's crew is probably the Vinsmoke family, especially since they used poison, which is a very assassin-like weapon to use. You want to kill them without making a scene, and it looks like when you look at the wreckage, it looks like arrows and like poison were used, and that's all you know. And and I think that this will make very interesting context because there's a lot of backstory that we're getting from. Well, we've gotten a lot of backstory from Luffy. We've got a lot of backstory from Zoro. Now we're gonna get a lot for Sanjay. To be honest, he didn't even have that much backstory. Nami, there was a big backstory. Usopp, he's got more stuff going forward because like the whole thing with Yasop and going to Elbaf is going to be a big deal for him. Like so they're going to touch upon him later, but like Brook, Chopper, and Frankie don't have as much backstory. I think Robin got a good amount of backstory because she had the whole recovery arc, and so you learned about how dark her past was and everything. So she kind of did. I think Frankie, Chopper, and Brook also did not have an in-depth backstory. I would say if I had to choose one that kind of did, it was Frankie. Frankie kind of did, but I think that each of them could have a major development. And I think this is Brook's like tie-in to the rest of the Straw Hats is that we never know how his crew dies, and that was a very big empty hole that they just gave us. I guess those don't appear as much with Chopper or Frankie off the top of my head. I'm trying to think if there was any unexplainable thing that happened. Um, but yeah, no, that's what I think of the chapter. I know, yet again, I get off topic, but I kind of just let my thoughts flow. Um, so yeah, no, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think. Monster Trio signing off.